Hey everybody, welcome to another live stream. Sorry we weren't on this morning at our normal 11 o'clock time, but we're here now, 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Arizona and on the Pacific side of things. If you're on the East Coast, you're probably wrapping up your day, would be my guess. Do me a favor and chime in the chat. Where are you guys watching from? What part of the country or world? Because we regularly have folks from all over the place. So definitely jump in the chat and let me know where you're watching from. As you guys saw with that video, if you caught on early on the stream, I ran my water bottle through the dishwasher. And it's kind of honestly a vibe watching that thing in the dishwasher. Now, I did not wash my GoPro for the full cycle. It was going to get too hot. So I just put the GoPro in there for a little bit. But the water bottle did go through the entire wash cycle. And I will show you in a moment. Hello. All right. We got some people chiming in. Hey, Jamie, Saratoga Springs, New York. Awesome. Hey, Jamie, I'm going to be in New Jersey. I don't know how far that is from Saratoga, but I'm going to be in New Jersey in September at Mamaki there doing a mini one-day boot camp. So come by and say hi. Handmade Highland, I know we've communicated more than a couple times, but thanks for chiming in, watching from Scotland. Paul from the Philippines, awesome. We got two folks from Scotland today. Awesome. All right. Sweet. Okay, so first things first, the water bottle. Did it survive the dishwasher? And Copper State Apparel over on Instagram. So Instagram doesn't integrate with StreamYard super great, but they just asked, same water bottle you had at the expo? Yes, exact same water bottle I had at the expo. So this water bottle I've had since November. If you go back on our YouTube channel, it is the last of the water bottle videos that I had done where I made this one. So it was like November, and I've used it on a pretty much daily basis. And I've just been hand washing it. I hadn't actually put it through the dishwasher. Put it through the dishwasher. At the end of the live stream, I'll play that video again if you want to hang out and watch a bottle in the dishwasher for a little bit. But anyway, here it is, everyone. It is totally fine, like completely fine. Zoom it in a little bit. Hold on, let me turn off the active tracking real quick. There it goes. So here it is. Actually, I think this camera will focus a little bit better. Yeah, it will. So it turned out perfectly fine. And it's funny, Copper State Apparel Company asking over on the on Instagram. I had this at the DTF Expo when I was teaching, and everybody's like, "Will you pass that around?" And I was like, "No, I won't, because you guys are going to scratch that thing." And everybody's like, "Yeah, you're probably right." So it was smart that I did. Anyway, yeah, so it turned out perfect. There are some pressing things like that little streak there. That happened from when I was actually pressing it, that one too. So my goal today is to show you guys a little bit better way to press it. But yeah, worked super good. This thing is so durable. Like I have beat up the bottom of it relatively good. Let's see if I can. So, I mean, it's not like my daughter's. My daughter's got a Hydro Flask that is just beat to death. But yeah, so I've been using it. So it's not like it's not been used. So pretty much daily basis, I've been running with this thing. Ran through the dishwasher. I put it on the lower shelf, the lower rack, which is the hottest one, which kind of puts it in harm's way the most. And I also didn't like really do, there's some things I'm going to show you guys today that I would do differently to make this actually be a little bit more durable. So this, I think, is actually a viable option for you guys. We'll see how it works today. Maybe this one was just a fluke, but whatever. Let's see. Questions. What printer? I printed that on our Mamaki TXF 300. So it's not like a UV, it's not a UV DTF. This is not UV DTF. Probably should have prefaced that in the title of the video. This is not UV DTF. This is like DTF that I made this shirt with, you know, like that same technology. So, and actually, here's the transfer we're going to put on it today. And this bottle I'm planning to have in our showroom. I might have to like lock it up just so it doesn't walk away. But I wanted to make sure people knew it was made with DTF. So this is just a standard DTF transfer printed on our Mamaki. Yes, those colors look fantastic. I know. Same settings as pressing a shirt. Yes-ish. So I've got this. This is a just kind of a standard sublimation mug heat press. So it will do really crazy high temps. But what we're going to do is press it about 300 degrees, which is the same as like a cotton shirt. And I would say like sort of the same times. It works a little different because the metal bottle does retain the heat a lot more. So you do have to go a little bit, you kind of have to wait for it to cool off a little bit before you try to peel it. But here's the bottle we're going to be working with today. Let me see if I can arrange myself so I can do all this. But, and if you guys do have questions, I'll answer just random questions later that don't pertain to this project. But for now, we're on this project. So this is the water bottle. It's just a very basic plain water bottle from Walmart. Like literally it's their Walmart mainstay brand. So I didn't want to like do anything fancy. But yeah, the biggest thing I will say for what we're going to do, which is like entire coverage of the bottle, is make sure it's like just a straight cylinder and not like doesn't have any tapering. You wouldn't want to taper. You can adjust this with these screws here for a tapered mug, but it's just gonna be easier. Now, if you're just doing like a single graphic on it, that's fine, but there are some things you need to be aware of. If you do single graphics, there will be like a little halo around the graphic where like just kind of the adhesive powder or the adhesive and some other moisture kind of squeezes out. I've just seen it on every one of them. I think if you spray with a clear coat, I think it'll get rid of a lot of that halo. So anyway, over on Instagram, yes, I'm just using our regular V2 film. So literally this transfer is made with our Mamaki V2 film, super powder. Yeah, I think that's the combo I'm using. And I'm actually using technically the dark garment print profile for it. So anyway, so the first thing I did was I sanded this down. Sorry, I got to make sure I'm on the right camera for you guys. I sanded it down with my 320 grit sandpaper I bought for last week's video or 2 weeks ago video. By the way, side note, you guys are freaking amazing. Like this audience is awesome because I never would have thought of putting the sandpaper under it and above it. And legit, I've been like handing that shirt to people and people are like, oh, this does feel a lot more like screen printing. So if you want screen printing feel, 80 grit sandpaper above and below the transfer. Anyway, and I wouldn't have figured that out without you guys. You guys are awesome. Anyway, all right. So I've sanded it down a little bit, then wiped it down to kind of get the dust off. The biggest thing I found through some of my other testing was that if there's any oil on this, it won't stick very good. So I've got some of these little alcohol wipe things, the kind you get when you go to like a barbecue joint. And what I'm going to do is I'm both taking off the dust from sanding it. I don't know if you could actually must have got most of the dust off. But the biggest thing I'm doing here is I'm getting rid of all of the oil, all of the oils from my hand, oils from production, all that kind of stuff. So I just want to make sure it gets wiped down really, really good before I try to press it on there. And Aaron, yep, got to sand it first. Well, you could probably get away without sanding it and it would probably work okay. But I think it's going to adhere better if it's sanded a little bit. Not a ton. We just kind of want to scuff it up a little bit just to give a little bit, something a little bit more for the transfer to kind of grab onto on the water bottle. So yeah, so I'm just going to make sure this gets totally cleaned up. Okay. And now this graphic, if I've designed it correctly, should wrap perfectly around this water bottle. But the best thing to do, move that out of the way for a second. I've got it currently set at 300, so it's currently heating up. But get some heat press tape. And first, whoops, looks like I got a little bit of spit. I have a saliva control problem. Anyway. So yeah, I do not want my oils on here give me any hassles. Now, ultimately, you could probably should wear some like gloves when you're doing this, just so you don't transfer any oils over. Anyway, so I'm going to kind of lay this on here, let it finish drying out. It's not quite dry yet. Well, also make sure your desk is really clean. Yeah, okay. I feel good about that. Okay. So I'm going to lay this on here and just kind of do a test fitting real quick. So I want to check and see if the ends are going to match up. I can see they're not quite lining up if we look right there. So I'm going to line this up real quick. Awesome. Now, when you go to tape this with the heat press tape, sorry, I'm sliding it down a little bit. I'm just trying to get it lined up so it stops here and stops here. So the biggest thing I will say when you're pressing this, don't tape both ends. We're going to tape one side of it first, because as it presses, it kind of pushes the transfer around like this. So we want to give it some room to move, and then we'll press this part of it later. So, and I really should have cut some heat press tape first. Y'all are probably hollering at me saying, Jeremy, you should have cut your heat tape first. All right. Get a little heat press tape going on here. And that one, and that one. Okay. Now we're just going to double check again. We're good to go. And to measure this water bottle, what I did is I took a piece of tape and wrapped it around it, like a little piece of painter's tape, and then cut it to where it perfectly met. And then I pulled the tape off and placed that tape on a measuring tape. That was a little more accurate for the size. Okay, so now I've got one side taped, and I'm going to put it in the heat press, and we're going to keep this end kind of sticking up out of it. And I've got this here to grab on because this is going to get pretty hot. So we're going to set it in here. Actually, I'm probably going to have to slide it in here. Okay. And I'm going to press. All right. And we're going to probably wait about 10 to 15 seconds, maybe a little bit longer. Let's go 20. Okay. And I've got this ready to grab it. So don't burn myself. There we go. We're about 20 seconds now. Let's see how that's looking. Sorry. Put it in a place that you guys can see it. Okay. I can definitely see it's kind of sticking, but I'm also seeing like a little bit of some puckering right there. That's going to happen. I think to expect it to perfectly stretch is probably not going to happen. All right, I'm going to stick it back in and press this same section again a little bit longer. Again, keeping this piece out of it. Turn it a little bit more to get, there we go. There we go. I want to get like a little bit more of that first side getting pressed in there. Again, reminder, if you got any questions, drop them in the chat. I'll answer them. Tammy on Instagram. We got lots of folks on Instagram today chiming in some questions. What material is it? The water bottle is just a standard metal tumbler from Walmart. The transfer is a standard DTF transfer film. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is I'm just kind of rubbing this down a little bit. And I want to let this cool off a little bit before I try to start peeling it, because what I want to do is I want to peel this end here so that I can lay this end over it to kind of seal off that edge. So let's let it cool off a little bit. I'm kind of rubbing it to help it adhere a little bit more, help make sure things are smooth. Right now it's looking really, really good. So we got any other questions? We got lots of viewers over on Instagram today. That's good stuff. All right. Special ink or metal. Let's throw that up there while I'm waiting for it to cool. Is there special ink or metal? No. We are using standard DTF. So my whole reason initially when we did our back to school series, I was trying to pick something that I thought wouldn't work with DTF because I thought it'd be silly if our series only covered stuff that worked. So I put this in the mix for that series, expecting it to not work. And when it did, it kind of sent me down this rabbit trail. But the whole idea behind that and all of our other Will It DTF type stuff is we really want to just see if there's other options for folks that only have a DTF printer. Obviously, sometimes like sublimation might be better for a specific use case, or maybe screen print might be better or something like that. We wanted to see if all you had was a DTF printer, could you make some of these other things that traditionally aren't made with DTF? So that was kind of our thought process in doing those Will It DTF type of videos. All right. Well, doggone it, that piece of tape is not wanting to give up. There we go. Now, I did see a mistake already. Over here in this corner down here, I pressed over the tape a little bit, so it peeled up a hair. So this might not be perfect, but let's try to make sure you guys can see what's going on here. There it is. It's coming right up. Easy peasy. Man, that's coming up really nice. Okay, so now I want to press the rest of this side over. So I'm just going to basically slide this in. And as I'm pressing, I'm going to kind of turn it. Oop, nope, don't want to do that. So I'm going to show you guys it peeling off. It's peeling off quite nicely as we go. A couple spots where the white looks like it's maybe holding on a little bit more, but anyway. All right, so let's get this in and finish pressing that edge. There we go. All right. And at this point, I just want to press it enough so that it releases from the film, because the final press I'm going to do with parchment paper and kind of rotate it around. And that's kind of how I'm going to do the final pressing on this to really get it to stick to it. Yes, I've seen a lot of folks using the little air blower canister thing to cool it off a bit. It's definitely an option. I've not personally used that too much, but all right. So that's looking like it's stuck down pretty good. I'm going to rub it down a little bit, cool it off a hair, and then I'll show you how we'll do it with parchment paper. So let's take this and we'll just peel it off the rest of the way. Ultimately, I'm probably doing it like that because it should release better that way. There we go. Oh, yeah. That looks fantastic, guys. Look at that. That looks so good. All right, I'm going to check it closer with my eyeball. So I can see a little bit of like dimpling there where that edge was, where I kind of stopped the pressing. But anyway, all right. So now what we're going to do to kind of finish this off is I'm going to place some parchment paper in here. And we're literally just going to like put it in and like turn it. So actually this will be easier this way. So I'm going to place it in here like this. Try not to burn myself. Nope, still hot. All right, cool. Now I'm just going to take it and I'm going to press it like this. I'm just going to squeeze a little bit, and I'm going to pull, and that's going to rotate, or should be rotating the bottle inside of, yep, it is. So again, I'm just doing this to make sure I get nice even coverage, but what you don't want to do is have some creases in there. So just make sure your parchment's not creasing, because creases do transfer. All right, I think I'm just about the point where I'm happy with that. Cool. I got a little bit of smoke coming off. That's always fun. All right. Now, whew, that is steamy. All right. I don't know if you guys can see in the, yeah, you can see the smoke coming out of there. All right, let's see. Okay, I'm going to adjust this camera a little bit so you guys can see better and clearer now that I'm done pressing. There we go. Okay. All right. So that is pressed. It is ready to go, y'all. Oh, that looks so good. I'm so stoked with how that looks. I was struggling to like pick like a graphic to use, because I was like, I'm gonna get something. I was like, I'm gonna get something that I would want to keep or whatever. But this looks really cool. I love it. Yeah, I am with you, Kamaljit. I hope I said that right. Can't wrap my head around the fact that regular DTF sticks on metal. I know. The biggest thing I will say for regular DTF sticking to metal is you've got to make sure that you do some kind of clear coat over the top of it, because otherwise it runs the risk of deteriorating a lot quicker. So it's still pretty hot, but I'll turn it around so you guys can see. I'll show you guys the seam on the backside. So I purposefully designed this one with a little seam on the backside. But yeah, no, I saw some like picture of like a lion or something that was like on a stained glass window. So this I actually created with Adobe Firefly. So this is with AI. I simply did a basically a super colorful dragon as a stained glass window. So that's kind of how we made this, or how I designed it. And then I just put the made with DTF to remind everyone that, yeah, this is actually friggin' DTF. Not UV DTF, like real legit DTF. Like literally the same transfer paper that came off of, I'm going to make a couple new shirts with. So, oh, I'm going to take the opportunity to show you guys this. Sit tight. Sorry. All right. So you guys all know my color swatch shirt, right? And one of the comments I always make is like, you can't make this with screen printing because there's literally so many colors on it. Well, I decided to one up my game. This is one of my new t-shirts. It's 300 gradients, and it says 300 gradients. Can screen printing do this? Anyway, sorry. I might be a little salty with that, but I'm pretty stoked. That's going to be one of my new shirts. So I have learned that if I'm not wearing this thing, people don't recognize me. Somebody came to boot camp last week. Is like, I was so stoked to get to see that shirt in person. Okay. All right. So we've got a couple of questions. Actually, it's over on Instagram. What clear coat are you going to be using? Copper State Apparel Company. That's a great question. And here's my answer. So on my original water bottle, I used just standard Rust-Oleum clear coat from Home Depot. Like legit, just the $5, $6 stuff you can get from Home Depot. Works good. If you want something that's going to be a little more robust, a little bit harder. Hey, Pat, thanks for joining. If you want something that's going to be a little bit harder, I would go with something like this. Now, what this stuff is, if anybody out there has done automotive, like automotive paint and stuff like that, you will recognize this. What this stuff is a clear coat with a hardener. It's specifically for automotive types applications. But basically, there's a little button on the bottom of these spray cans that pops a little section of inside the can and releases a hardener into the clear coat. So it mixes together as a hardener and clear coat, kind of like an epoxy. When you mix the two parts together, it hardens. Same kind of concept here. The problem is this one, once you pop that like hardener, you have like 5 or 6 days when you can use it. So what I would suggest is if you are going to make a bunch of water bottles, I would use that clear coat like this with the hardener, because it's going to be a lot better final product and it will be more durable and hold up better. But if you're just kind of doing one-offs here and there, just stick with the Rust-Oleum inexpensive clear coat. So yeah, so that's all you're gonna do. You guys have seen. I'm not gonna spray clear coat in my office, y'all. That I would die because it's so stinky. So basically, what I'm gonna do with this thing to prep it to spray paint is I'm gonna put some painter's tape around the top to seal the top and to keep this metal part clean. So basically wrap a piece of painter's tape around here, seal the top of it, and then just spray it with a clear coat. Or you can just like tape around here. And then what I did on our video, if you go back and watch that video on YouTube, I just stuck it on top of a pipe and just sprayed it that way. But you guys, this thing looks so flipping good. It turned out great. Actually, I'm going to look at something. Sorry, I want to look a little closer. Oh, sweet. I can show you guys. So when you just do like one graphic, you end up with that little halo thing that's showing up right there around the edge. That happens all the time, which is why I tend to prefer an all-over graphic versus just a single graphic. But a single graphic is easier to stick. And once you spray the clear coat on there, it's gonna kind of make that halo disappear anyway. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. But yeah. This just looks killer. I love this. If you do want to come see it in person, we'll have it in our showroom. Hopefully, it won't walk off too quickly. Like I said, I might have to find a way to put this under lock and key. Anyway, all right, I'm going to double check here through to see if you guys have any questions. If you do, drop them in. I'll answer them. And then I am planning to be back on our normal 11 a.m. schedule. Oh, before I forget, if you are in the Atlanta, Georgia area or anywhere close by, myself and a couple of other folks from DTF Superstore are going to be at Mamaki in Atlanta, Mamaki USA in Atlanta, and I'm doing a mini boot camp. So if you're in the area, come by and say hi. If you're thinking about getting a printer and want to see some demos, also Mamaki is planning to demo their flatbed UV printer, which you can do UV DTF as well as UV printing on this. Though UV DTF says it's not dishwasher safe, and I've just proved that mine is dishwasher safe. Is my way better? Anyway, sorry, I digress. But we're also going to be demoing UV printer as well. I think it's the UCJV 330, I think. But Mamaki's going to be demoing those, but we will do mini boot camp. Going to provide lunch. If you're going to come, register on our website. Don't know exactly what the link is, but if you go on our Facebook page, you'll see a post about that. So anyway, I think that's going to about do it today. Thank you guys for watching. I'm finally going to be able to put a response in the comments because on the video where I made this water bottle, everybody keeps asking for an update. So here's your update. And as you can see, I think I did a better job this time than my first one. But I will keep using this sucker, this one. And we'll see how long it lasts. I like it. But, man, I really like the way this one turned out. It looks super, super clean. Anyway, guys, if you have any more questions, always feel free to drop me a line. Jeremy at DTF Superstore, which I think I have a little banner. Let's see. There it is. If you guys ever have a question, hit me up. If I'm unable to answer it or don't have time, I might get a little delay. If it's something urgent, if you're a DTF Superstore customer and you have an urgent tech support situation, please reach out to tech support. I love helping you guys out, but definitely they will respond quicker because I'm working on a lot of different projects. And like tomorrow, I'm traveling all day. I'm flying out to Atlanta. Copper State Apparel over on Instagram. Sorry, guys. I've got Instagram window open over here because it doesn't integrate the comments with the main feed here. But Copper State Apparel says, I'd like to see how it would hold up without the top coat. So it sort of holds up without the top coat, but not great. If you just go just search water bottle on our YouTube channel, you will see 4 videos. I think it's the second one where I washed the back to school water bottle, and some of the stuff that didn't have a clear coat over the top of it did stay stuck to it. But honestly, it's going to be so much better if you put a clear coat over it. It's going to be way more durable. It's going to look cleaner, and you can choose with your clear coat. You can choose a matte or a gloss. So you can choose kind of the final look of it, but it's going to look a million times better with that clear coat. So clear coat it. Always, always, always clear coat it. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you so much. I love this community. Like I said, last week when we were doing the sandpaper thing, y'all helped come up with some solutions, and legitimately, it is a viable option to give you guys a feel that is more like screen print. So if somebody's looking for more of that screen print feel, smash it between 2 pieces of 80 grit sandpaper, and it works wonderfully. Anthony, just missed it. Guess what? It'll replay over on our YouTube channel. Also, if you're watching this on Facebook, once I close out of this, you should be able to rewatch it right away. But yeah, always, all of our live streams are available on our YouTube channel. A lot of times I'll cut off the intro, like with all that, as waiting for people to get in. This time I'm probably not, because it's video of the water bottle in the dishwasher. So on that note, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to replay that water bottle in the dishwasher video because it's a vibe. Again, thank you all so much. I will see you in 2 weeks, 11 a.m. Arizona time, Tuesday in 2 weeks. And if you're in the southeast part of the U.S. and you got some time, come see me in Atlanta on Thursday at Mamaki USA. Y'all have a great week. Bye.